This is our slides presentation for GPEV 1623 group assignment, creating a lesson plan and lesson slides. The name of our group is the problem solvers. Here is our group member contribution. Mokwena TE was our research provider. Zwane B did the lesson introduction, and he was our lesson introduction compiler. Modiba B did the resource management. Moloi TS is the lesson body compiler. Mahlangu TM is the lesson slides compiler. Kubeka PS is the inclusive strategies compiler. Mazega LL is the lesson conclusion provider. Mavuso NN is the lesson assessments compiler. Manaka K is the lesson secretary. Morajane S is the multimedia evidence compiler. The lesson starts here. The topic for our lesson is products and factorization under the chapter of algebra, and the subject is mathematics. Before the lesson starts, let us recap. What is algebra? Some of the grade 10 students may not remember what is algebra. So, to remind them, algebra is a type of mathematics that uses letters to represent numbers. Most people are familiar with arithmetic from grade 8 and grade 9. But here in grade 10, we're going to be looking at algebra. For example, an arithmetic problem may say 5 plus 7 and ask you what is the answer. But in algebra, we may come across an equation that says 5 plus x is equal to 12. So what is x? So basically, here in algebra, we are solving for x. We're going to be looking at two topics, products and factorization. So before we continue, what is the difference between products and factorization? There are many significant differences between products and factorization. For example, in products, the product is obtained when two or more numbers are multiplied together. For example, 3 multiplied by 4 is equal to 12. And in products, the product is a result of a forward operation where multiplication is performed to combine factors into a single expression or value. You may have different expressions, but you have to combine them and form a single expression. Product is generally simpler because it involves direct multiplication of numbers or expression. And lastly, product is used to find the result of multiplying quantities or expressions, which can be useful when calculating areas, volumes, and more. Now, let us go to factorization. Factorization is the process of breaking up a number or expression into its constituents. For example, you may be given 12. What are the factors of 12? The factors of 12 can be 2 times 2 times 3, meaning that when we factorize, we break down a number. Factorization is a reverse operation where a single expression or a value is broken down into its multiplying factors. Factorization can be more complex, especially with large numbers or complex algebraic expressions, because it involves identifying correct factors. Factorization is used to simplify expressions, solve equations, and find roots of polynomials, among other applications in algebra. There are many laws that we use in products. Firstly, the distributive law. The distributive property is an algebra property which is used to multiply a single term and two or more terms inside a set of parentheses. For example, we may have 10 times, they have parentheses, 50 plus 3. So what we do here, you can take the 10 and put it and use it to multiply whatever is in the parentheses. Remember, we have 50 plus 3. So we can say 10 multiplied by 50 plus 10 multiplied by 3. Also, if we have 3 multiplied by 12 plus 99 in parentheses, we can take 3 times 12 plus 3 times 99. And another method that we can use is the FOIL method. So what does FOIL stand for? FOIL. First terms together, outer terms together, inner terms together, last terms together. And we're going to be using this many times here in the grade 10 class. So we must be familiar with the FOIL method. And it is used especially when you are multiplying binomials. To make multiplying binomials simpler, we use the FOIL method. And we can also have a square of a binomial. So how do we come around when we have a square of a binomial? It's simple. We square the first term, double the product, and we square the last term. For example, if we have a plus b all squared, what do we do there? We say a squared plus a times b, then we double the product, it becomes 2ab plus square the last term, which is going to be b squared. The rules are so simple. Square the first term, double the product, square the last term. We're going to be using that many times in the grade 10 class, so it is important for the learners to understand and always remember that law. Now, we also multiply a binomial with a trinomial. Now that you understand the products of a binomial, it is time to learn how to multiply a binomial and a trinomial. But first, before we continue, what is a trinomial? It's simple. A trinomial is an expression with 3 terms. Tri means 3. For example, 2a plus 5b minus 3c. The rules for multiplying binomials and trinomials, they are also important in the grade 10 class. Rule number 1, we multiply the first term of the binomial with the trinomial. Rule number 2, we multiply the second term of the binomial with the trinomial. Number 3, we add all the terms together, but the third law is a bit tricky because you can't just add the terms. You have to add the like terms, meaning that they have the same base and the same exponents and the same variables. For example, if we have a binomial 3x minus 2y, which is multiplied by a trinomial. For example, if we have a binomial 3x minus 2y, which is multiplied by a trinomial 9x squared minus 6xy plus 5y squared. So how do we do that? First things first, step 1. We take the first term of the binomial and multiply it with all the terms of the trinomial. So it's going to be 3x into 9x squared minus 6xy plus 5y squared. Then we take the sign of the second term of the binomial, which is 2y, and it is negative. So we're going to say negative 2y multiplied by 9x squared minus 6xy plus 5y squared. Step 2. We add the like terms. Then step 3, we're going to get 27x cubed minus 36x squared y plus 27xy squared minus 10y cubed. That's all for the product. We're going to be moving to factorials. So the second part of our lesson, which is factorization, is going to be presented by Mr. Manak.
Factorization. What is factorization? Factorization is the reverse of finding the product. When factorizing, you change a sum expression in brackets polynomial to a product expression monomial. So we have two ways of factorization. The first one is common factor, and the second one is the difference of two squares. Example of a common factor: AB plus AC equals A in brackets B plus C, or A in brackets A plus C plus D in brackets B plus C equals to in brackets B plus C brackets A plus D. The second example, under difference of two squares, a squared minus b squared equals to a plus b, a minus b. Okay, let's try some examples. The first one is 2x plus 2y. What we have here, this is a type of these examples for common factor. So our common factor here is 2, as it appears on both terms, on 2x and also 2y. The second example, 25a squared b cubed plus 15ab squared minus 10a squared b cubed. It's also a common factor. So with this problem, we take out the common factor, which is gonna be 5ab squared, and our answer will be 5ab squared open bracket 5ab plus 3 minus 2ab close bracket. Other examples for difference of squares. The first one is x squared minus b squared, and this one we have the answer will be open bracket x plus b close bracket open bracket x minus b close bracket. And the second example, 27y cubed minus 3x squared y, and when we're solving this problem, our answer will be 3y open bracket 9y squared minus x squared close bracket. And then we factorize it further, as we have a difference of squares inside our bracket. So it's gonna be 3y open bracket 3y plus x close bracket open bracket 3y minus x close bracket, and that's it.